So this is part 2 of my experience taking Delta 8. So the first time I took half of a gummy. I got real sleepy, really hungry, and I was just real dizzy. I ain't think anything of it. I did get some rest, just was real woozy. I'm thinking maybe that's just one of the side effects. So the next day is when I took a whole one. It was that whole one that sent me to the hospital. My wife was 2 hours away from me. We had planned a vacation, and I was supposed to meet her the next day. I was so excited to go on a trip. I didn't want to mess up everybody else's vibe because I hadn't slept. Anybody that struggles with insomnia or PTSD or anything like that know what I'm talking about. Did 4.5 years in the Marine Corps and I got out and my head was messed up. That's facts. There was times where I wasn't sleeping for days and I was losing my mind. Easily agitated the whole nine. I was mixing medications just to sleep, so I figured I would take this gummy, take the whole thing, sleep the remainder of the day, meet up with my wife and my kids, Samara, her family, and we could actually enjoy the vacation without me being grumpy and half crazy because I ain't slept. Homie, I took that gummy and regretted it shortly afterwards. Room started spinning and my body started going numb. It started with the left side of my body first. When I felt the left side of my body going numb, I made my way to the door, I unlocked it, and I went and I sat down. I texted 911, gave them a description of what happened, my address, and I said, help, I think I'm dying. I may even screenshot the message and show it in this video just to show y'all. I called my wife, I'm telling her what's going on. She is pissed. She stayed on the phone with me until the doggone ambulance come. They hauled me out of the house. Now keep in mind, the longer this goes on, the more my body goes numb. My wife telling me to drink water and eat bread. You oughta seen my stupid ass sitting on the edge of that bed just packing bread in my mouth drinking water, man. Got a whole loaf of bread beside me just gnawing on it like I'm a little rat or something. I'm hearing voices all around me. People are screaming. I really can't even hear my wife talking because I hear people around me screaming and being tormented. I feel something standing behind me, keep touching the back of my neck. I'm seeing visions of my family being tormented and killed. I'm praying, my wife is praying. It may sound like I'm flipping out, but I assure you I was completely calm. Like I told you, I spent 4.5 years in the Marine Corps. Believe it or not, seeing horrific stuff like this in my head every night was normal for me. It quite frankly was the reason I did not sleep. I saw visions of madness, complete madness every time I closed my eyes. I got out and my head was messed up. I was angry all the time. I couldn't sleep. All I craved was violence and chaos. But out here in the civilian world, it's a different type of chaos, it's a different type of war, but not the kind I was craving. Anyway, I'm in the back of this doggone ambulance. They finna drive me away. The guy tells me, hey man, I gotta take your phone, we got to work on you. He says, is there anything you wanna say to your wife? I opened my mouth to say I love you and I'm sorry. When I opened my mouth to say I love you, my mouth went numb in the middle of me saying I love you and I couldn't finish it. It sounded like I love, and my body went numb. Boy, I ain't gonna lie to you, I cried like a baby because it was right at that moment where I heard the devil tell me, I told you I was gonna get you. I lost the ability to speak and I couldn't really move my limbs. I was just stuck inside of my head, just listening to the devil tell me what he was gonna do to me, how he was gonna kill my little brother, how he was gonna kill my little sister, how he was gonna kill my children, how he was gonna work his way down the line until every single one of us was dead. He told me how he was gonna kill them, and he told me what order he was gonna kill them in. And he told me he was gonna start with me because I was the strongest. He told me if he knocked me down, then the rest would be easy because I was the pillar of strength that they looked up to. The enemy is very strategic, he is militant, and he is tactical. Do not underestimate the devil. I'm not saying be scared of him, but don't underestimate him. He ain't stupid. But just as the devil was talking, so was God. The devil did all of that yip yapping, and God didn't say anything to me until I said something to him. And he told me with the quickness, this is not gonna kill you. And I ain't gonna lie, it put my spirit at ease. That's when I began to pray. Keep in mind, I'm praying inside of my head. My body can't move. I'm fully paralyzed. and my eyes are wide open. I'm not blinking. It looks like I'm dead. I'm not blinking and my body not moving, so I'm literally just staring off into one space and I'm not moving. I stayed like that for 12 hours, man. I went to the VA hospital. If you are dying, vets, don't take your ass to no VA hospital. I would have rather stayed in the back of the ambulance and let them work on me than to go to that damn VA hospital. They were so rude and fucking disrespectful. I couldn't move and I couldn't talk. They were literally yelling at me to get me to speak and sign some papers. Baby, I can't move, I can't talk, so yelling at me not gonna help. So I just sat there and listened to them yell at me and disrespect me. And yes, my wife tried to come and visit me. Yes, they told her no. Apparently her name wasn't on some emergency contact list, and for that reason she could not come. My mother was on it, but my mother was dead. So mama can't come visit me in the hospital, dog. That's my wife, we've been married, she's on my dependents list, all of that. They did not let that woman come and visit me, and they did not let me talk to her. So the next day when I gained consciousness, I managed to get a hold of my wife, and boy, she was pissed. She wanted to come up to the hospital and tear it apart, and I don't blame her. I wanted to leave, man. How dare you keep me in this hospital and I can't talk to nobody that I'm close to? I will never go to the VA again for serious treatment like that. The guys in the ambulance asked me, do you want to go to a regular hospital or do you want to go to the VA? I'm thinking the VA is for military guys, man. Take me there, they'll take care of me. Nah, not the case. They deemed me unsafe to be alone. Sent me to the nut house. Spent a day and a half in there. To my surprise, man, the guys in the nut house, dog, they were all men. None of them were crazy. They were just regular men that were burnt out, struggling with PTSD, depression, anxiety. Regular people. God operated through one of the doctors in there. He was a tall white guy. He looked at me and he said, "This is not you. I don't know you, but I can look at you and tell you don't belong here. Get it together." Me and him spoke for a while. Spoke about science, spoke about college, family, the military. He made me laugh, and I made him laugh. Afterwards, he made his decision, and he said, "If I release you, are you going to harm yourself or anybody else?" I said, "No." He said, "Okay, at 2:30, you're free to go." It was like 11 something. Man, I was so doggone ready to get up out of that hospital, get some real food in my system. I had been confined to a bed for a doggone day or so. Them women in there had been yelling at me and disrespecting me. I was pissed off because I couldn't talk to my wife then. My kids worried half crazy. My wife crying herself to sleep. Her family was already on vacation, but she stayed behind because of me. So I was ready to go. So 2:30 finally came. My wife picked me up. I'm gonna save part 3 for next because I'm gonna let her speak her piece on that, on what it is that she went through while I was away.